Well, I want to put out a quick video on some gems of information that everybody's interested in, actually reverse aging and destroying fat. Now, just want to also tell you that a lot of times people in America, while they're getting fat, it's not just cause of sugars and high fructose corn syrup and processed foods, although that is a contributing factor. It's actually toxins. Your body uses fats to trap toxins. You can even be taking pharmaceutical meds or psychotropic meds, and you will gain fat no matter what you do, how much you exercise, unless you detox. Now, one of the best, I'm going to really, going to kind of tell you some of the vitamins that are best for detoxing. And of course, this is not the only solution out there, or the be all end all of everything. Your body does not just require, just a few vitamins I'm going to mention here, but I'm going to mention the top ones. Number one is vitamin C. Vitamin C is not a vitamin, it's actually a hormone. Our bodies probably used to produce it in copious amounts eons ago. That is one theory out there why Noah, the one in biblical times, I know some people don't believe that at all, but probably true. He lived to be 920 years old. His son lived to be 675. By the time he got down to Abraham, it was 175. By the time he got down to Moses, it was 120. It was a regression of the gene that, the fourth gene, which is all present in us, that is dormant, that will enable us to produce our own vitamin C. Now, when they took mice and rats and they modified their genes so they don't produce vitamin C, they only live to be less than half their normal lifespan. So they theorized that if we had this capability again in our body, which it seems one of the genes is dormant, we'd live to be at least 2 or 3 times as long and still stay young. So now, you can't take enough vitamin C orally. It doesn't quite really absorb in the blood. And I know there's a lot of controversy between natural vitamin C and ascorbic acid, but you really can't get enough natural vitamin C to the levels where it's optimal. You're really going to have to take just ascorbic acid. Dr. Linus Pauling, who was the two-time Nobel Peace Prize winner, he's actually taken between 14,000 milligrams and 30,000 milligrams a day. You really take at least 3,000 milligrams a day. Even that sounds like a real lot, because they say the recommended daily requirement is between 60 milligrams and 75. That's just enough to prevent scurvy. I'm talking about anti-aging. Actually, vitamin C is also an absolute antiviricide, and it also is something that works against all free radicals. It's an antioxidant. It's one of your safer. It's about the safest vitamin out there. If you take too much oral vitamin C, the worst really that's going to happen to you is that you'll have to make more trips to the bathroom and take a number two. That's about the worst thing that's going to happen to you. Most people can tolerate 10,000 or more milligrams a day and divide up doses. It's a major anti-aging vitamin. It's not a vitamin, it's actually a hormone. I went over many videos on this, but I just want to give you the top ones that are really reverse aging and also detoxification, which means anti-fat, because most people are actually getting fat because they lack energy because of toxins, and also the toxins are trapping fats as a method to protect your vital organs. And vitamin C, being an antioxidant, it works against toxins. So that's one thing. Now, vitamin D is another thing. Sunshine is actually one of the best ways to get vitamin D. And the myriad of frequencies that are in the sunshine, not just the visible light, but also the ultraviolet light, work very much against microbes that are in the bloodstream, that's actually being exposed to the sunlight near the surface of the skin. The frequencies from the sun actually help to cleanse the blood. Believe it or not, you might think that's hogwash, but it's not hogwash. It actually does do that. It doesn't just help the body. It doesn't just cause the body to produce vitamin D3, but it also works to lower the microbes in the blood. It helps lower the cholesterol in the blood. And I almost guarantee you that there's more to it than that, because if you look at some of the other things out there from Georges Lakhovsky with the Lakhovsky multi-wave oscillator, which he developed with ideas from Nikola Tesla. I don't want to get onto that subject, but there's more than just the visible sunlight and the ultraviolet light that the sun is providing. There's energies in and around us. Sunlight exposure is actually vital. It's vitamin D is part of that. It helps the body produce vitamin D, but also sunlight. I just want to mention that it's not exactly just plain vitamin D, but you do want, if you're taking oral supplementation of D, you want to take D3, not D2. D2 requires much higher doses to work the same. That's the plant-based type. I think most of the vitamins now sold are D3. They used to be D2 because people got wise and they were educated now about take D3 versus D2. But that's not the whole thing. Now, one of the better ways to take D3 is through cod liver oil. I take high doses of vitamin D3, very high doses actually. I don't even want to say what I'm taking. I take very high doses of niacin, which is going to be the next vitamin I'm going to talk about, and I take very high doses of vitamin C. I don't want to say what I'm taking because then I'll be maybe making a recommendation. I did tell you about vitamin C, what Linus Pauling said. I think that's a safe recommendation. With vitamin D3, you got to watch, because it helps the body to regulate calcium, and it can also help the body to regulate calcium and calcify the veins in the heart. Now, the way to avoid that is if you take diet of vitamin D3 along with vitamin K2. That's not K1, it's K2. K2 is usually found in cottage cheese if you're taking it naturally. I got a large bottle of it, and I'm not recommending a brand, it's just something I'm doing. It's just Dr. Carlson's vitamin K2. You want to take, if you're taking D3, say you're taking, now I'm taking a much higher doses of higher dose of D3 than 2,000 international units. I'm taking a much higher dose than that. But if you, for every 1,000 international units of D3 that you take, you want to take 100 micrograms mcg of K2 in that ratio. Where D3 toxicity comes into play, it's not really D3 toxicity, it's a lack of vitamin K2. Now, vitamin K2 is also the main thing that is responsible for what they call the French paradox. A lot of people didn't understand why the French lived so long, had so little heart disease, had very few cardiovascular problems, and they ate all these rich foods and fermented cheeses that seemed to be high in fat. Well, you know what it turned out? That a lot of that was because those type of foods that were fermented cheeses and high fat, certain types of high fat cheeses. Now, one simple one you can get is cottage cheese, if you're not familiar, if you don't want to get anything fancy. Those foods contained a lot of vitamin D2. Excuse me, K2. And K2 regulates how vitamin D3 will synthesize or process, allow the body to regulate calcium. So in other words, K2 tells the body to put the calcium in the bones, in the teeth, and not into the veins and into the heart. That is why the French have good heart health, and it seems like paradoxical because, why they're eating these fermented cheeses? Well, they're very high in vitamin K2. So, but also vitamin D3 is something whereby you could take quite a bit of it if you're taking it in the right ratio. 1,000 international units of D3 to 100 micrograms mcg of K2. And what happens is vitamin D3 can help, not like a miracle, but it can help the body to burn fat, and also any cells that are damaged that need to be repaired. Vitamin D3 gives them instructions of how to repair themselves, and if they can't be repaired, they will be destroyed, so they don't turn into problems. Now, another thing to take is vitamin B3. Now I'm skimming the surface on this. I want to put out basically the strongest ones. I mean, you really need everything. I mean, it's not like you just took these vitamins and you're gonna live and forever. But these are like the top ones, really. I could talk about selenium, coconut oil, magnesium, riboflavin, other B vitamins, and vitamin E. There's a lot of different things I could talk about, but I am trying to just give you the quick and dirty. And also, these vitamins are cheap. Even that K2 vitamin is not expensive. I don't know, it's like a 300-day supply of it, 5,000 mcg each, which can cover quite a few international units of vitamin D3. Now, vitamin B3 is niacin, or now the type you want to take is nicotinic acid, the natural type, the type that causes a flush. The type that is time released or the non-flushing type can cause either or both kidney and liver damage if you take too much of it. Then you want to take the nicotinic acid. The nicotinic acid is actually very, very, very powerful detoxification. It also raises the enzyme in the body called NAD. NAD is also, well, there's a lot of different things NAD is important for. If you're lacking in NAD, actually, Dr. Abram Hoffer knew this for all the way back to the 1940s. Did the first double-blind study on it. He cured schizophrenic patients with nicotinic acid and vitamin C, 3,000 milligrams each, over a period of 90 days. Most of them were cured in 90 days, like 88%, 90%. With double-blind studies, been repeated over and over again. If you just continue the treatment, it's 100%, because really a lot of schizophrenic and bipolar issues are due to a lack of a coenzyme called NAD. But NAD is also something responsible for anti-aging, and it's also responsible for your collagen health. Like vitamin B3, nicotinic acid, the true vitamin B3 is also known for hair, skin, and nails. Very important for that. It's also known for regulating carbohydrate synthesis, in other words, so you have energy. Now, it's also such a powerful detoxification agent that fat cells that trapped toxins to keep the vital organs healthy, because that's what fat cells sometimes do. They don't just store energy. Sometimes the body uses fat cells, and it's very more prevalent today. A lot of times the body will use fat cells to trap toxins, because toxins can cause harm to the vital organs of the body. And toxins could be just from pharmaceutical drugs, it could be from psychotropic drugs, and all this other type of stuff. Now, vitamin B3, nicotinic acid, or niacin, the true flush type, the type that causes a flush, will actually destroy those toxins in the fat cells, cause those fat cells to explode. Now, that's one way you can be losing weight, but the problem is when you release those toxins, you're going to feel the effects of it. You probably feel tired and all this other stuff. You will probably need to drink a lot of water. Now, I know I didn't mention it, show a picture of it in here, but one of the things to really absorb and neutralize a lot of toxins and help them carry out of the body more efficiently. Besides, even vitamin C can work as an antitoxin, against antitoxins. So when you're taking niacin with vitamin C, they're working hand in hand. But you might want to take activated charcoal. Activated charcoal, it's like a type of, it's not the charcoal that you use on your barbecue. It's a type of charcoal that actually neutralizes and absorbs toxins and helps them safely carried out of the body. Poison control centers use it. They used it in Chernobyl, Fukushima, against radiation. But if you're detoxifying pretty quick, you might notice the effects of higher doses of niacin. I don't even want to say what to take. You might want to take 500 milligrams or more. I'm taking far more than that. I don't want to say what I'm taking, because then somebody might follow it and maybe they'll say you shouldn't have done that or whatever. But 500 milligrams of niacin or 1,000 milligrams is far in excess of the recommended daily requirement, and it'd probably do you a hell of a lot of good. That's one thing. It's been known, NAD, besides reversing psychotropic issues, whatever. They say you have no psychotropic issues, but besides that, NAD is known for reverse aging. Nicotinic acid niacin is known for hair, skin, and nails health, synthesizing proteins, carbohydrates, so you have energy. And also, it's so powerful of detox agent. Just to mention this, a lot of times people take high doses of niacin a few days before they have a P test for drug test, and it detoxifies the drugs out of their body. When these people that do these drugs and do weed or whatever it is, doesn't take it out of your hair or nails, because that takes many, many months to have that happen, but it takes it out of the urine. So it is a very powerful thing. So, in short, if you really want to look at what some of the best ones to take, is vitamin C. You can take just plain ascorbic acid. I mean, it's best to take the natural type, but if you want to go with camu berry extract vitamin C, it can get extremely expensive. You might want to take, eat some oranges and foods that contain vitamin C, but to get the higher dose of it, you're really going to have to just go with the ascorbic acid. It's not like it's so bad or anything like that. That's not true. It's just that you just can't get enough natural vitamin C. I wish there was a pill that was inexpensive that was natural vitamin C that you can get it in high dosages. Now, if they found a way to change our DNA and our genes where we could produce copious amounts of vitamin C in our body, yeah, we'd be great. That'd be great. I mean, if they could do that, fine. Like, for instance, I'm giving an example. See, almost the entire animal world the only species on this whole planet that doesn't produce their own vitamin C in their body is humans, primates, guinea pigs, and one species of bat. Everybody else, whether it's a dog, a cat, a goat, a deer in the woods, a bear, whatever, they all produce their own vitamin C. A billy goat, per kilogram or per pound, produces more vitamin C in their body than pretty much any animal out there. That's why they can eat all this garbage on the ground. They don't get sick. Vets will tell you a billy goat never gets hardly ever sick. If they ever get sick, that means they're going to die, because, it's something really, really bad that they probably can't produce enough vitamin C to stop it. That's why they don't get sick when they eat all the garbage off the ground. That's why your dog drinks it. Well, I don't want to talk about that, but you know what I mean. That's why the animals don't get sick in the woods as easily. If you were out in the woods, you would, because you got to freaking constantly wash your skin and all this kind of garbage because of microbes. You don't have as much. If we produced lots of vitamin C in our body, we'd probably live to be 500 years old, 900 years old, or whatever the hell it is, and stay young. We'd be like 300 years old and we look like 28. If you're taking oral vitamin C, it's not going to do that much, but it's going to help. Okay? It's one of the that's probably number one. Number two, I'd say, is vitamin D3, but you got to take that along with, and sunshine is probably the best way to get it, but you want to take it along with vitamin K2, and that balance that I talked about, per every 1,000 milligrams, 1,000 international units of D3, you want to take 100 micrograms of K2. K2 is a great one. And also for niacin, I could be leaving out a million different things, right? But I'm trying to keep it simple. These are like the top ones, in my opinion. And yes, it's very important to take the good oils like salmon oil, flax oil, fish oil, hemp oil, coconut oil. No coconut oil, number one. But I just don't want to overload you. And it's like, these vitamins are not much money, but just avoid the non-flush type of niacin. You don't want to take time-released. You don't want to take the kind. You want to take the kind that gives you the flush. And if it gives you too much of a flush, and the pill has got too much in there or whatever, maybe break the pill in half and just take a half a dose and take the other half a dose later on in the day. Also, if it gets too much of a flush, you're better off, you want to take the niacin after a meal. And because when your stomach is full, that makes for its own time release. You'll get more of a flush from the niacin when on an empty stomach than you will from a full stomach. And if you don't get a flush from taking true nicotinic acid, the true type of niacin, more than likely that means you're short. You're short on it. Your body needs more, and that may be because you're loaded down with toxins. So I'm trying to be short on this. I probably went long anyway, but try to cover a lot of different areas. But NAD is one of the things that NAD. I forget what the actual. It's a type of coenzyme in the body. It's responsible for your mental alertness and everything else, but it's also responsible for. It helps with reverse aging. NAD, I forgot what the long name for it is, but it contains the word nicotinic or niacin in it. Niacin is part of the coenzyme NAD, so when you're taking higher dose of niacin, your body's helping your body to produce more NAD, which also works against schizophrenia or bipolar issues and things. But say you don't have those issues or whatever. The thing is, it also, the NAD is reverse aging. Now, why do doctors not tell you this? Well, where did I get this information from? Doctors. Am I a doctor? No. But I got it from doctors, but I also realized there's probably more money-orientated doctors out there that are extremely money-orientated than there are people that are the right type. And anyway, I just want to tell you, this is what I found out over vast amounts of hours of research, and I could discuss a hell of a lot more, but just want to keep it simple. And if you're detoxing very fast and you're feeling the effects of, like vitamin C can work against neutralize a lot of toxins too, because it's an electron donor. So that helps when you're doing the detoxification process with niacin and things like that. But you got to remember that maybe if your body's being overloaded with toxins, you want to drink more water, maybe even some baking soda water, like this is a separate issue, but you might want to take some activated charcoal with that. But you don't have to, just trying to keep it simple. And I think everybody's interested in reverse aging and losing fat very easy way, without effort. Because I think most people in the United States have gained weight due to toxicity. And you could just eat a healthy raw food vegan diet and reverse that. Yes, that'll work. But most people are on the go. They can't do that all the time, and it's probably fairly expensive too. Besides that. And you could very easily get off that, and it's like, I think what would work faster is taking more of these types of simple vitamins I just talked about, and you'll find a major improvement in your health. But in the beginning, you might notice that you feel more sluggish, and that may be because your body is detoxifying very rapidly. So you might want to start on this program a little bit at a time and work your way up. And I don't want to give you specifics. I did tell you a little bit about what Linus Pauling was doing. He was saying at least 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day. He was taking between 14,000 and 30,000. Fine, that's what he was doing. If you want to do that, fine. That's usually too much for a lot of people, but you'd have to take that and divide it up doses. But 3,000, that should not be a problem. 2,000 international units of vitamin D3 should not be a problem, especially if you're taking it with the recommended amount of, say, 2,000 international units of D3 with 200 micrograms of DK2. And with niacin, if you take 500 to 1,000 milligrams mg of niacin a day, B3, the true flush type, the type that's natural, that should not be too high. It might be at first, but as you work up to it, it should be fine. I don't think well, you're just gonna have to go by what you feel like. And I personally, I'm taking way more than that, and I don't want to say what I'm taking, but I think it's a good theory, and I'm sticking with it, and we shall see.